this month, that is the GEMPA Senior Members Association. We take from GEMPA Middle Level Staff Association and we take from TIM. Of course, we are privileged to have the chairman of the Vice Chancellor, Ghana, Professor Kwaku Bonsu, the Vice Chancellor of the University of Professional Studies, for some short good message, because we're coming to your fold. And of course, our special guest of honor is Excellent. So this one, president of the business school. Thank you very much. Vice President, Oscar Kwaku Bonsu said, a good message from the Ghana Institute of Management and Administration senior members to our new rector, Professor Kwaku Bonsu, first rector of Investment. On behalf of this one, I welcome you, only on your 20th and 12th birthday of Investment. It's one thing that was one of the best decisions made by you, accept, or to offer yourself for your service in that capacity. And the best decision taken by the council or the governing council to appoint you that office. It will be a good experience to work with you. These books to learn different new things and different experiences during your tenure. This man has been yearning for an in-house job. You have always wanted to work with a leader who understands our internal situations. This man wanted an innovative person who can identify opportunities, creative, trust, and use people with cross-specialization that can lead to a hybrid impact. This man wants to be skilled under your supervision. This man sees your appointment as an embodiment of work and happiness, but not an avalanche of cancellations, physical distancing, and non-negotiations. The road looks rough and serpentine. The future can be very milky, especially in this era of COVID and the global effect of the global economy. But be guided by Ronald Reagan's words. The greatest leader is not necessarily the one who does the things, but the one that gets people to do the greatest things. You are advised by John Maxwell that leaders must be close enough to relate to others, but far enough to be ahead, motivate their peers. Together with fashion impact to become the best desired higher learning institution in Ghana and our service. This one pledges our full support to local costs and success of your administration. Once again, Sami, as you affectionately once before, this man welcomes you to the highest office. middle level president, Mr. Kwaku Bonsu. Yes, they are being supported the members of secretary of the district. That's the 75. Thank you. His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, our Impact Council Chair and members of Impact Council, Impact Management and staff, and invited guests. Good afternoon. Thank you for the opportunity and chance given to us. I'm the one speaking on Bishop Kumar, is the middle level president, and my vice is Kwaku. On this occasion, the middle level, on behalf of the middle level staff association, want to congratulate Professor Kwaku Bonsu on his selection, election, appointment, and investiture today. Congratulations. Yes, indeed, you are one of our own. And we believe that being one of our own, you understand the culture and the core values of impact. And that, as we are gathered here today, we wish to assure you of our strong and great support in your tenure the next 4 years as we propel impact forward. Indeed, it's going to be rough, but together we shall succeed. And being one of our own, the success of your tenure certainly will be the glory and the joy of all of us. And the failure would certainly bring us a shame. It is on this note that we, the middle level, are showing you of our strong support to make sure to achieve success in all aspects of Gimpa's progress and development. So that Gimpa, our Gimpa, your Gimpa, would work again. Thank you. Thank you very much. I can see the Secretary of DIU and the President coming.
Your Excellency, Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, the Chairman of Council, Council members, incoming Rector, outgoing Rector, faculty members, distinguished invited guests, senior administrators, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. We are happy to be part of this special program. I will first of all congratulate and welcome the new Rector, Professor Kwaku Bonsu. Stepping into a new position is an exciting feat. And we, the teachers and educational workers, and the junior staff of Impact, would like to congratulate you. Knowing you, you will shine more in this new role that you already do. We look forward to watch your continual ride to the top of the field. May you thrive on the challenges and joy it brings your way. I hope you love a new role and that it brings you much success. You have all our support. Congratulations on your new appointment. Thank you.
I'm giving the task that I just said what I mean proposal. So all of us as a we are invited to our fold. I'm convinced to succeed. I'm very much convinced for 3 or 4 reasons. The first is that the Reverend Father pronounced us to support on put that to succeed. The second reason is that you are coming from have all the experience. You know the force, you know where to step, where to step. That experience you said you well. The third reason is that you are a marketer. The marketers always succeed. I remember I saw that in Canada. So that I'm convinced that you succeed. And as you can see, the marketers succeed. So you succeed. And the fourth reason, the most important, is that those practicalities. They are more resilient. My appeal to the staff of impact and power is that the election campaign is over. So we need all the support. We may have had a preference for the rector. But now it's over. The choice has been made. You have to support him. Let him time and patience. Agree that impact is personal. Impact is succeed. It's not just about him. It's about impact. I advise also to that impact 12 rectors before people have to certain things. Most contribute. Each person paid school. About now, our prayer for you is that you also follow the foundations. You don't have to pull this strategy. That will what others have done. And welcome you to our home. I know very soon the greatest increase, but it's part of it. It's for God and country.
Evergreen Choir, can you give us a short music interlude as we prepare the grounds to receive our special guest of honor? Thank you very much. It's an honor and a privilege to invite His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, very welcome and the city.
Thank you very much, Chairman of Council, President Governing Council, members of the Academic Board, faculty and staff, our new Rector, Professor Samuel Kwaku Bonsu. This is your day. And this is what I call distinguished ladies and gentlemen. This is really an honor and a privilege to be here to witness and partake in the investiture of the new Rector for impact. For me, it is a bit personal because Professor Samuel Kwaku Bonsu and I, or Sami Bonsu as we call him, have been friends from a long time. In the early 90s when we met in Vancouver, Canada, where the same university. He was doing an MBA, I was doing a PhD at the time. But we were very, very good friends. And at that time, Sami was already married. So I liked to visit him because there was always food in his house. And we could demolish a plate of rice and chicken and then solve all of Ghana's problems at that time. He is very deeply intellectual, and right from that moment, I knew he would go very far. We both finished our studies, and we both went into academia. I was teaching in the United States, and he was teaching all over the place, in Canada, the US, and so on. But at some point, I decided to come back home, wanting to apply some of the academic discipline to do public policy. And at the end of the day, we kept saying we would theorize and write as much as possible about what we needed to do back at home, that maybe we should also get into the field. So I came into public service, and then he continued in academia, and then came back to Ghana to train public servants and civil servants and the private sector. So for me, it is really a very, very great honor to be here. Since I've been vice president, I have not left the academic world completely. I keep publishing. I've published about 2 books since I've been vice president. And in one of the books, which I edited with Professor P. here, Contemporary Business Imperatives in the Developing Economy, I invited Professor Bonsu to submit a chapter, and this chapter was the impact of branding on corporate performance. And that was a brilliant chapter that he submitted in the book. So our friendship has continued right from the Rice Chicken days as students through to working both in Ghana and academia, cooperating in writing. I'm very, very happy. I'm not surprised. He's an excellent academic. And GIMPA is a first-class academic institution. And for you to be after that rigorous search, the search for a rector in such an academic institution is a very rigorous process. There will be so many people and so many very, very highly qualified candidates to choose from. And to choose Professor Samuel Kwaku Bonsu as the rector from that very highly qualified pool says a lot about the new rector, Professor Samuel Kwaku Bonsu. Congratulations, my dear friend. Congratulations. so proud of you and believe that your tenure will be a successful one. I know that now that you are rector, you've already signaled that you have a number of issues that you want to deal with, and so that you know you are always welcome to the Jubilee House. So we will discuss some of these issues, including infrastructure, as your chairman of government or council has already said. I just want to say, God bless you. God bless your family who have stood so well by you, your beautiful wife, who has done so well by you. And thank you again for all that lovely food that I ate. God bless you. God bless Jim family. God bless our whole family.
Thank you very much. You understand the issue of friendship. Thank you. May I respectfully invite the Rector of Kenya, Professor Kwaku Bonsu, for the inaugural address.
Excellency, the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. I'm always tempted to call you Kwaku even in public, because that's how our children spoke when we first met. I've never told the story in public, but I think that when you became Vice President, I told you that Uncle Wu had become Vice President. Because the only had images of you as a student. She said, oh, so in Ghana, equally. But I think that they have these images of us as young people struggling to keep up with schoolwork and other things. And so it's been a pleasure knowing the Vice President, and as he has already indicated, I look forward to working with him. I've already presented some of the concerns we have, and the chair also indicated some things that I'm sure we'll be able to work on for the end of get back. Obviously, I moved Australia, so I'm going to go back to being born. So His Excellency the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. We met a few other excellencies. His Excellency Dr. Bafo Ambassador, former ambassador to the United States of America, members of the diplomatic corps, chairman of council, members of council, former rectors, vice chancellors, faculty, staff, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I wish to welcome you all to beautiful Green Hill on this beautiful day. It is my greatest honor to have been invited to serve the Ghana Institute of Management and Public Administration as Rector. I wish to acknowledge the contributions that my forebears made, and we have a number of former rectors here with us. They have made several contributions to the well-being of this institute. In fact, it is your collective investment that has given us the institute we have today. So let me thank you very much for all the effort that you made, for building a foundation on which we can adapt, to build a new future. I hope to tap your collective wisdom to help steer impact into the next best years yet. And I trust that I can always count on your willingness to offer advice when we need them or when I need them. Mr. Chair, I have come from very humble beginnings to this point in my life. Mine may be considered a success story, but like many such stories, my journey has been fueled by the selfless input of numerous others, whose names, if they were listed, would cover the widest sheet of paper in the world. And I wish to say thank you to anyone who has played in the slightest role in my life. Time will not allow me to mention all of them, and I wish to make special mention of a few, even posthumous. First, my parents who sacrificed a lot for my sake. My mother, Mrs. Agnes Bonsu, popularly known as Sergeant for her military discipline and strength of honor. I'm sure those of you who know me are already thinking that way, yes. Yes, I believe that I'm my mother's son. My mother had no formal education except at some point in her 40s when she decided to go to medical school. Indeed, she was very much aware of the value of formal education. She died about 2 years ago. I acknowledge her love and commitment to make who I am today. Sergeant, this is to you. My mother, Kwaku Bonsu of Antoine, may God rest his, my father, rather, Kwaku Bonsu, may God rest his soul. At age 13, his father died, forcing him out of school. He, like my mother, knew the value of formal education and also insisted that children would not be given the opportunity to stay out of school. He was a loving and caring father who read to me, helped me with my homework. There are stories of my waking up in the middle of the night to recite poems and rhymes that I had not been able to read while awake. My mother used to call me, my name is my son, with great laughter in reference to a book that my father used to teach me to read. There are so many stories here that if I were to tell you them, I should tell them to you, will never be. But I think there will be another opportunity for me to share some of those stories with you. They say that it takes a village to raise a child, and I, Kwaku Bonsu, have been privileged to have had a true village behind me. My maternal uncle, who's here, that's my uncle, my aunties, Mami Amabedu, Mami Afuadu, Mami Atapana, both Penny and Pepper. My siblings, several are here, my cousins, my nieces, nephews, and all other family members present. Thank you for everything. I also like to acknowledge my teachers, especially teacher, I'll say, who instilled in me the sense of learning, the sense of trust. I have been looking for teacher, I'll say, for maybe 30 years now. I'm still looking. He was a teacher as a chance. So if there's anybody out there who knows where he is, send a message that this little boy has been looking for. I would like to acknowledge the presence of my good friend, Rector, the only one in the crowd, for taking the time to be with us. I have some friends, some seniors from Rector College, Jubilee, Phelps, Kofi, Ato, Motions, Jeff, Ajengo. You know, it is a surviving in here that has taken me this far. I'm going to went through. Thank you for the camaraderie. Thank you for. I have some good friends from government and industry who are here. Too many to list. I have friends from FedCo. I see friends from LICO. I see friends from I see friends from Golden Lake, and I see friends from several other areas, places in industry. And I thank you all very much for gracing this occasion. Then, of course, there is the most powerful of them all, represented here today by the young and beautiful Mrs. Sarah Ramos. Please. Please, I'm telling you a secret. Do not be deceived by your when you find it. one day when I grow up, I want to be just like her. So thank you for the unflinching support over the years. We started very early, and even then, as I say, she was not a teenager. And our children, thank you all for the love that you demonstrated over the years, bearing with me, only nights that I met, and thanks at the times when I couldn't be with you. Thank you. Mr. Chair, it was on this occasion, on this campus some 60 years ago, that the United Nations and the government of Ghana came together to establish the Institute of Public Administration. That would later become the Ghana Institute of Management and Public Administration. The institute was built on the promise of ensuring effective capacity building to support the new country. IMPA has prided itself on being a unique institution with a special purpose, a purpose to drive government policy and action, along with educating the young and women in the country, especially the public service. The last mandate of the institute, represented in the IMPA Act 676 of 2004, redefined the role of the institute and made it a financially autonomous institution. The mandate also extended the institute's offering to include degree granting offers. And so there was a slight shift in the focus on the public sector. From their humble beginnings, IMPA has emerged as a leading university, playing a critical role in capacity building for Ghana, Africa, and the rest of the world. In spite of their enviable successes, IMPA now faces significant challenges, and the chairman of council, when he was speaking, raised a few of them. But I think one of the key ones is identity and identity crisis. We're not too sure who we are because we have confusion with what we do relative to the public-private sector issues that we face. We have some financial challenges that we have to deal with. We have distanced ourselves a little bit from our stakeholders, and there is a certain level of indiscipline that many of us recognize. Securing IMPA's role and future calls for a radical departure from others without compromising the institute's heritage. Therefore, there is a need for us to look for an agenda that can be focused on transformational change. And we have to prosecute this agenda quite aggressively. So in my tenure as rector, this agenda will be prosecuted under three main pillars. One is revenue assurance, two, institutional restructuring and renewal, and three, quality of research and teaching. IMPA has survived for the last 60 years or so, and especially so in the last 20 years when we were granted financial autonomy. That is to say that we are a public university that does not receive government funding, subvention. We are proud of our achievements in spite of that. The COVID-19 pandemic sent us tumbling down and exposed several of our vulnerabilities. We cannot allow such financial stress again. I'm aware that the IMPA Governing Council has taken steps to set up the IMPA Endowment Fund, and I'll work with Council to make this commitment to IMPA's, to work with Council to make sure that this commitment to IMPA's future is pursued and successfully implemented. We'll invite alumni, individuals, corporate contributions, as well as encourage student contribution. I also believe that regardless of our financial situation, we should always save for the future, just like we do as individuals. Therefore, IMPA itself should make contributions to the fund by committing a percentage of revenues to the cost. With the necessary hard work, discipline, and the help of God, I believe we will be able to do just that. Cost management is another area where we'll pay close attention. Perhaps we have been privileged enough over the years that we have relegated that to the background. We need to assess our cost patterns and cut off all that is not necessary. This means a tighter financial management regime, and we'll have to adjust to the current situation going forward. We'll have to trim the fat and maintain a lean operation with IMPA and our most precious assets, the staff, being the primary beneficiaries. That is not to say that there will be no parties. Of course there will. We will still have the parties, but we'll have to be sure that we can't afford ourselves. It is my hope that our digitization agenda, which we'll be hearing a lot more in the next 2 years, therefore from what is going on at the Vice President's office. And we are going to place this in what I would describe as a radical institutional reorganization framework will help us streamline our costs and prioritize our expenditures. Mr. Chairman, the topic of institutional reorganization. IMPA appears to have hit a point of inertia where many seem to go through their routine motions and not really connecting to the overall image, the overall goal, the overall mandate of the institute. This suggests a certain low enthusiasm on the part of some staff and even students. We have lost what I would describe as the IMPA spirit, that intangible feeling of community and belongingness that underpin every great organization. We need to reorganize to reclaim the spirit. This reclamation is absolutely necessary if we wish to maintain our status as a university in the league of the elite. We will begin such an exercise with the most precious of assets that we have, our staff. While we do the best we can for them, we all know there is a lot more that we can do. I say this especially for our junior staff. This segment of our community do the bulk of the hard lifting to make our school great. I believe that some redirection of resources to support them and their well-being is absolutely necessary. Therefore, a priority in our institutional revitalization efforts will be to re-energize our junior staff through improved compensation packages and other incentives. I hope that we can make the junior staff so happy, so happy that they may start meeting their children. This calls for a certain level of discipline. It calls for a certain level of phased knowledge. A disciplined workforce comes to work knowing what is expected by way of others. A disciplined workforce need not be coerced into working for the institute. A disciplined workforce shuts selfishness and embraces collective efforts for collective good. A disciplined workforce is ethical and will do whatever it takes to preserve the integrity of impact. And I believe that all of us are willing to commit to a disciplined workforce in favor of impact. Mr. Chairman, IMPA is currently organized around schools and directorates, currently with 7 deans, 12 heads of departments, and 12 directors. But still, we operate a highly centralized system of administration. I believe that needs to be improved. This would require some radicalization. I think, for instance, that there should be some consideration of semi-autonomy for units such as consultancy, GCC, and perhaps the satellite campuses to facilitate operational efficiency. At the extreme end of this thinking is where units are reconstituted as limited liability companies only owned by IMPA and subject to central IMPA's control protocols. Again, this would be a radical departure from what we have seen at IMPA in the past. But I think that this is the age of radical. Radical is what we need at this point in our history. In fact, I believe that IMPA was born to be radical. IMPA was born to be different. That is our DNA. And we should be pursuing what we were born to be. So in the next few weeks, I plan to constitute 2 or 3 committees of experts, consider some radical ideas on institutional reorganization, and to report on how the impact can be made more efficient. I expect consideration of radical possibilities to put us ahead of the trends in higher education in Ghana and beyond. And I hope to receive and consider the committee's report before the end of the year, so that council can consider whatever comes out of those assessments for implementation consideration early in the next year. There are several other initiatives that we'll be pursuing in partnership with alumni, industry, public sector, and our international friends. So we'll lay this out as they become available. While we are management school with significant expertise, sometimes we need to invite external people to look at us critically and tell us what they see. After all, the old Chester and O'Neill said it, yes. So what we hear from the strangers who come to assess us may not always be pleasant, but they will be useful for us to be sure that we stay on this straight and narrow path that takes us to the heaven that we are all hoping to get to at some point in the future. Mr. Chairman, IMPA is a university and our core business is research, teaching, and learning. Our strategic plan identifies us as a research-intensive university. Central administration will put its full weight behind research, providing incentives and other supports as necessary. We plan to develop and implement a comprehensive strategy for making IMPA a major hub of research in Africa. These will include a reconsideration of the erstwhile foreign-based faculty program and reshaping it as a mentorship program to enhance the IMPA brand in the international market. We will seek to appoint research fellows who will focus on funded research. Working with council, I believe that we will build our new library as soon as possible, a modern library equipped with the comforts of contemporary digital libraries. I have facilities. I have already initiated conversations with some of our friends abroad to help realize these goals. God being our helper, we will see the fruits of this particular labor. Mr. Chairman, there is the need to invest in staff and equipment towards boldly embracing the new dynamics of higher education around the world. Perhaps informed by the aftermath of COVID, we have to look at online teaching. We have to look at how we can make that the most effective way for us as an institution. To this end, I'd like to propose a new setup for teaching and learning that will support quality teaching and build educational leadership capacity in direct support of student learning. The center will be expected to move deeper into the 21st century with emphasis on ICT in teaching and learning. We will seek to appoint teaching fellows with terminal contracts to support the center. This will hopefully help to reduce the gap in our IMPA classrooms where we have some significant gaps actually between theory and practice of management. That gap has widened far enough to affect our ability to attract clients from industry and government. There is a need to bridge this gap, and I hope that through these initiatives and with the support of council and all other stakeholders, we'll be able to achieve them. I envision a focus on the LEAD program designed jointly by academics and seasoned experts in industry and the public sector. A shift from the traditional pulpit-style lecture shall be replaced with case-based instruction, and the new CTL, the Center for Teaching and Learning, shall facilitate partnerships with industry and the public and private sectors towards this end. Mr. Chairman, my vision as rector is based on the pursuit of both academic and professional excellence. I imagine IMPA as the university which is a land on a hill. Indeed, we are on Green Hill, a beacon of hope for our nation, showing the way for other universities in our land and beyond. It is my vision then to facilitate the entrenchment of IMPA's quality reputation across Africa and extend the global impact of the brand. At the end of my tenure as rector, I envision a globally oriented IMPA that prides itself on a unique contribution to national development through enhanced quality of service delivery. Some of the propositions I have outlined here may seem radical, and I agree. But I note again that I believe that IMPA was born to be different. IMPA was born to be radical. And that is what makes for innovation. And it is, I repeat, in our DNA. We should go back, look at the original IMPA, and take the best that we can, and make sure that we translate it into our contemporary times. We should do what is necessary, and that which is natural to us, rather than seek to copy that seek to copy what others have done. We are innovators, and we cannot copy. While we can learn from our sister institutions, we should be sure that we are not copying, but we are in fact coming up with new ideas that they will look up to and copy from us. That is what we used to be. And I believe that with the help of God, we'll be able to get it. Mr. Chairman, the first president of our republic, Sergeant Paul Dr. Kwaku Bonsu, once said that The task ahead is great indeed, and heavy is the responsibility. And yet, it is a noble and glorious challenge. A challenge which calls for the courage to dream, the courage to believe, the courage to dare, the courage to do, the courage to envision, the courage to fight, the courage to work, the courage to achieve the highest excellences and the fullest greatness of man. This is the task ahead for you. It requires firmness, discipline, and ethical reach. It is not for the faint of heart. As we all know, no one person can endure this alone. Therefore, I invite everyone to join us on this journey to a new end. It cannot be business as usual. The road will be bumpy, it will be rough. Some difficult decisions will have to be made. We'll have some bruises, there will be some cuts. But in the end, we will survive. The time for the great transformation is now. So let us build the impact we all want, and we'll be proud to share with our fraternities outside of the institute. Please join any way you can in this effort. And to paraphrase Martin Luther King Jr., if you can't fly, run. If you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, crawl. But by all means, keep helping with the journey. Please join me as we continue to build a vigorous questioning, contending, and certain learning community, quite gloriously established, to strive for the common good in our times, all for the sake of God as our guide. My giver, your giver, our giver. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Thank you very much, Rector. The tripod of revenue assurance, renewal and restructuring, quality research, teaching and learning. The tripod of which the four can. Thank you very much, Rector, and we will support you. The chairman.
Has to intervene. I have to intervene because the vice president, as usual, has other duties. As a matter of fact, I wasn't expecting him, but he has given us what the president did. And but should I say that the governing council agrees that our own vice president of the republic should be allowed in quotation marks, allowed to leave us. So if you please join me, we will do a standing ovation and I will see the vice president off. Thank you.
Very much for this invitation. I'm very grateful. Very much. We want to thank you very much for taking time out of the busy and daily schedule to attend this very important ceremony. We are indeed grateful, but we cannot mention a few names here. Chairman, permit me to recognize the presence of Honorable Ghana Asonaba Tapa, our own, who is now the Deputy President of the Pascal. We are known in government for a little while. God will continue to bless you. We know you make marks wherever you are, and God will protect you. May I also recognize the presence of Professor Kwaku Bonsu, Senior Advisor to the Vice President, Office of the President. I think that is the Vice President. Also, we are glad to have Professor Ahmed Nebu F. Oku Amati, the Vice Chancellor of the Professor Ahmed Nebu Afaba, the Vice Chancellor, Ghana Communication Technology University. Dr. Bafo Ajayi Bewa, former ambassador to the U.S. Distinguished Statesman in President, Worcester Polytechnic in the USA. Dr. Nurat Jahan Abubakar, Director, Investor Relations, Ghana Communication Technology University. Once again, our own Dr. Samuel Ninoy Ashon, Senior Policy Advisor, Fiscal Management, not physical, fiscal management, Ministry of Finance. Ghana Hussein Bonsu, as the head of Department Law, CAF, University. Dr. Yao Champi, President, Association of Ghana Industries. Permit me once again also to recognize the presence of our former rectors. We have in driving Dimpa forward with Professor Akima Belu, the part of the base to Professor Kwaku Bonsu, Professor Kwaku Bonsu passed on the base to Professor Philip Ebo from Wisconsin, and we got Professor Ebo from Wisconsin passing on the base to Professor Samuel Kwaku Bonsu. I can only leave the program without recognizing the deans of the various schools. We have Professor Samuel Adams, Dean School of Public Service and Governance. We have Professor Samuel Ajayi, Dean School of Liberal Arts and Social Sciences. We have Professor Wickham Akpadu, Dean School of Research and Graduate Studies. Dr. Joseph Ajayi, Dean School of Technology. Professor Samuel Famir, Acting Dean Business School. Dr. Alex Armstrong, Acting Dean, Faculty of Law. The last but not the least, Dean of Students, Dr. Mrs. Agostina Apuna. I want to thank you all very much for coming. After the reflection, we are going to host our special guest. It's strictly by invitation. Please, no gate crashing because of COVID. So let's. Sorry, I'm told that the acting vice chancellor, the University of Ghana, is here in our midst. Thank you very much. I mean, the forerunner, so you should be here. After the discussion, It's going to be strictly by invitation, and so this is going to be at the rectorate, that is the rector's office. Timber, my chairman just explained to me that it's a walking university. You can walk around and go to any place. It's not like Lagos, that you cannot move from the third gate and get to the vice chancellor's office without taking the car. Unless you are a marathon, but anywhere you can walk. So you don't need to take your cars and all that. They are safe wherever you are parked. Just a walking distance to the rectorate so that you can stretch your muscle for some light refreshment. Once again, I said it's going to be by invitation. The staff will have a memorial gift that will be given to each and every staff tomorrow. You don't want to know the staff who have invited yet to take the gift, so take the gift around. May I, on this note, invite Mrs. Kumbo, the Director of Human Resources, Victoria Kumbo, for the vote of thanks. That will be followed by a benediction. The very Reverend Father Samuel Filton Mensa will bless us as we live together. And the Gimpa choir will sing the Gimpa anthem as we all rise. Thank you very much.
Chairman of Council, Council members, Rector of Gimpa, members of the Academic Board, all those of the. It's a privilege for me to call upon you a vote of thanks on this special occasion, Investiture of Professor Bonsu, Rector of. I believe it's not perfect to say that as a people, we Ghanaians believe in the hand of God in everything that we do. We saw that we said in the, we had been in the appellation, it was said, the opening prayer was powerful. And so I have no other choice than to recognize and to thank God for bringing us this far, for a successful program, a beautiful one like that. So all glory to God for his support. The Vice President has left us because he has to attend something else. But, you know, it said that there isn't enough time for one to do all that you have to do or you want to do in a day. You only make time for the things that are important. The Vice President made time for Gimpa and for Professor Bonsu. That, for me, is very loud. There's an unspoken statement of the importance of thanks to him, but more importantly, the importance of Gimpa to him. So the Vice President is not here, but I'd like to thank him sincerely for the honor done to Gimpa. His presence here is worth more than 1,000 athletes that Gimpa have had to do. So thank you to His Excellency Dr. Awuni, and I'm sure that the same will continue. I'd like to thank the Chairman of Council and Council members for their support. I thank especially the Council Chair for his guidance during the planning of this program. He has helped us to make it as beautiful as the diplomats will want it to be. Thank you very much, sir. I'd also like to thank the academic board members. I'd like to thank management and staff of Gimpa for their support. Our appreciation goes to members of the Vice Association here represented,
We thank you for coming. Your presence here tells us that we are members of the same family. And we're grateful. Thank you very much. I'd like to also appreciate the distinguished ladies and gentlemen, members of the diplomatic corps, all who have responded to our invitation and have made time to come and grace this occasion. We're grateful, we appreciate your presence, and we thank you. For those who are returning to their destination, indeed all of us are returning, may you go back safely to your various stations. I'd like to thank the media for covering this program and for your support. And for everyone who is here, thank you very much. I thank the organizers and the God bless you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Before the very event comes, bless us. Yeah, respectfully, and those of us that came all the way from Kumasi were able to support the Rector. I think that you write and wait for that recognize you. You have done well, you talk well, and thank you.
Shall we please rise? All is well that ends well. To your name be the glory for accompanying us from the beginning of this investiture program to such a successful end. We thank you for the life of Professor Samuel Kwaku Bonsu and for council members. We want to thank you for the gift of impact to our country, Ghana. We want to bless you for the human resource who continue to make impact center of excellence. Over and above all, we want to thank you for these men and women of goodwill whose presence and very engagement have been a huge support to the ceremony. And as we leave here, Lord, we commend our lives into your care, that your protection will abide with all of us, that we may reach our various destinations safely. May you continue to rule our hearts as the Lord of our lives, that we may remain committed in our respective chosen vocations and professions for the good of humanity. And all that we are able to achieve and attain in this life be to the greater glory of your name. To him who is able to do much more than we can ever hope for or imagine, may he bless you and accompany you, and may your life continue to remain a source of joy to his name, now and forever, through Christ Jesus our Lord. Amen. The Almighty God bless you, the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Thank you.
Gracias.